Last week, we broke a record for the amount of cautions we have ever had in a Wawa Cup Series race, with officially 10 of them, even though only 9 of them made it into the race. Well, here today we do not have to worry about that because it is our first road course race of the season, and definitely one of the trickiest road courses that we have on the schedule. We head to Austin, Texas, and the Circuit of the Americas here for the second straight year. This is the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix, 16 laps of action around this 3.427 mile road course. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to Circuit of the Americas, or COTA as most of us like to call it. We are here for the first road course race of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series 2024 season. This was the first road course race last year, and pit strategy definitely came into effect in this race 1 year ago, and we anticipate that being the case once again here today. The awesome thing about this race, we got the driver who won this race in the booth with us here today, Echo Evans-Ross. And Echo, you went to victory lane after starting third in this race. You got the lead on the first corner, you never looked back. What do these guys need to do here today at Circuit of the Americas to get up front, stay up front, have a good clean cycle of pit stops, and get that race victory here in this Texas Grand Prix?
Well, this is a tough track to get around. 20 corners here, all different shapes, sizes. You enter them differently, you exit them all differently, you go through them differently. This is going to be a race about finesse more than anything. You might not have the fastest car, but if you have the best ability to get around the track, if you have the best ability to get around these corners, this tough track, you'll be there in victory lane.
It's going to be very interesting to see who does have the finesse, and we saw a lot of finesse on Wednesday in the Sprint Series race, and that's something that Philip talked about when he was in the booth with me on Wednesday when Michael Lewis went to victory lane, is just running your race and making sure you hit all your corners, and it's very easy to do so when you are the race leader, which means when you get up front, you stay up front, you have a very good chance of winning the race, and that's exactly what you did last year when we had 17 laps. This year, this race is only 16 laps long, cutting a lap from it just to make it a little bit shorter because it took a while to get through those 17 laps due to the fact that this is such a long road course here. But it's going to be a very fun race regardless of the fact, and it's going to be 2 cycles of pit stops for these guys. At least some guys may actually go on a 3-stop strategy. We saw that last year as well. Didn't really play out too well for those guys, but it's going to be interesting to see how it all ends up shaking out at the end of this race once we get to that second cycle. Here's how they line up in the point standings, and once you know it, the pole sitter Thomas Troxell is your points leader as well. 192 points towards the championship form. 7 points behind is Matt Tuck. You got Brian Webb 11 points behind. Daniel Paulus Jr. with a solid run so far this year, only 21 points behind. And then Angel Gutierrez there, our last winner, defending winner here in the Wawa Cup Series, got that race win at Bristol on the last lap. He is only 26 points behind coming into this race, and Nicholas Amadeo came oh so close to winning 1 week ago at the Bristol Motor Speedway. Could not pull it off, but he still got a good run out of all that. Sits 12th in the points coming into today's event. Let's go ahead and get these guys to roll off here from Circuit of the Americas in the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix. And like we mentioned, it is Thomas Troxell starting on the pole position in the number 62. Of course, our points leader coming into this race, and a very good opportunity for him to get his first career, or should I say first win of the season. He's gotten 3 career wins before in the Wawa Cup Series. Alongside him there is Brady Mardi Gras in the 47. Has had a solid season so far there, and he's coming into this race 10th in the point standing, starting on the outside pole. Here's a guy who absolutely needs a good run. Travis Crampton in the 98. Had some mechanical issues this season there with NS Racing. It has not been a good season for him. He's to the inside there of Justin Zeidel in row number 2. Rogel Dorn in the 74 to the inside of our Daytona 500 champion. Hey, the last time you were in the booth, Echo, LJ Cimento went to victory lane at Daytona. Got Philip Torres, he was in the booth with us on Wednesday. I'm sure he learned a lot from that Sprint Series race, and that's the car that went to victory lane last year when you were driving it, and your team car, Echo. Jack Haas driving that 39 machine, starting there in the 8th position. And then you got Bryce Egan there, and Angel Gutierrez in row number 5. Gutierrez, of course, our defending race winner here in the Wawa Cup Series after getting that race victory at Bristol last week on the last lap when Nicholas Amadeo blew his engine coming to the white flag, that 1 lap dash that we had. Doesn't necessarily have the best starting position here today. Of course, road courses necessarily are not his specialty. Drew Webb's also deep in the field of defending champion. Trey Bartow, Blaine Keys, and then the Grattan Autosport guys midway through the field as well. It's going to be interesting to see what they can do as this race rolls on. 16 laps here, no cautions, of course, and about 2 cycles of pit stops. Echo is a very strong field up front. Who do you think's going to victory lane here today in the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix?
Troxel's got a great starting spot, but I'm looking at the 98. That's exactly where I ended up starting. Took the lead on the first lap, never looked back. I think you might see the 98 of Travis Crampton do the same thing here.
I know that would be a very welcome race victory for Travis Crampton, who currently sits very deep in the point standings. As a matter of fact, he is all the way down next to Ace Garcia and Andrew Miller there in the 35th position in points. And, yeah, it's just not been his season so far. Of course, by this point last season, he had already gone the victory lane, got the race victory at Las Vegas last year. This season, he's come close to having some good finishes, but has had multiple mechanical issues throughout the season. Hopefully, for his sake, that does not happen here today. And we're back here at COTA. You may have noticed that happened last year as well, where we didn't show that frame on the pace lap going down the backstretch. But we're all good here. All 40 drivers ready to roll off here from Circuit of the Americas. Thomas Troxel in the 62 looking to get his first win of the season. As a matter of fact, first guy in line who does have a win this season is LJ Semedo there in the 71, starting in 6th. And Angel Gutierrez also in the top 10 as well. And we've gone through the field, shown some of those guys who we think are going to be good contenders as the season rolls along. Of course, they were good contenders last year, but they do not have good starting positions here today. And it's going to be interesting to see what they can do starting deep in the field. Of course, this is going to be a racist strategy. Hey, we just saw that real-life Bristol race at Echo. That was a racist strategy. Maybe not to that level here today, but pit road is going to be where this race is won or lost. And Thomas Troxel, I know he's got a good pit crew and a good car underneath them to get it done here today. But it's 16 laps here around this 3.4-mile road course. And 39 other drivers want to go to victory lane here in this Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix. Here we go. It's the first road course race of the season. Thomas Troxel and Brady Martigard are going to lead us to the green flag. We're underway here at COTA.
I don't want to watch that 98. That first turn widens up a ton. Doesn't go for it, though.
He's
oh,
got
there
a
he
nose,
goes.
though.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Oh, and some contact there between LJ Semedo and Jack Haas, and they're 4 wide back in here, and Gutierrez is around with Seth Cole and Matthew Hubert. Not exactly the best of starts for those guys. We're going to go back up front. Travis Crampton in the 98 looking to take it away from the 62 of Thomas Troxel, and look at this. They're side by side through the S's. This is our best angle that we got of this right here. And that 98's going to try to clear him, but he hasn't done so quite yet, and they remain side by side. Crampton's got him. He's got the race lead on lap 1 here at COTA. What a battle right there on the first lap.
Yeah, great job by both of them to stay side by side, especially through the S's there. That is not a place where you particularly love going side by side.
Look at that.
So could be diving in on the 98 to try and get the lead back.
And that's a tough place to make a pass. That inside lane has no grip off exit going down the backstretch. And Travis Crampton in the 98 machine going to clear to the race lead here on Thomas Troxel. And this isn't a surprise. I know Crampton's very deep in the point standings here in this race. Look at your guy there. Jack Haas to the inside of Ace Garcia back there. This is also a trouble spot. These guys tend to jam up. And how about Philip Torres looking to the inside of Thomas Troxel? You know, he may have seen something when Michael Lewis went to victory lane on Wednesday when he was up here in the booth with us. And he's trying to take second away from Troxel here on lap number 1.
I think he gave him a little bump going into that corner there. That's turn, I believe, 11, where you get the long straightaway right into a super tight corner. That's going to be a great passing spot for these guys all race.
And Philip
Troxel's
Torres
fighting back, though. This is a tough corner to get through. They call it a triple apex corner because you have to turn it 3 times through here.
Philip Torres is going to be able to clear Troxel right there. You know, Torres' teammate, Matthew Hubert's had a great season so far, but Hubert got spun around there on that first lap. Now Rogel Dorn looking to get to the inside of Troxel there for third. Troxel slipping back in that 62 machine. It is not up to par right here. And Rogel may actually have a shot on Philip Torres for second right here.
I mean, you say starting position means a lot. I said that, but Troxel's managed to lose 3 spots in a lap here at a track like this. Kind of surprised.
And Rogel's going to go ahead and take second away from Philip Torres, and now the 74 is up to second. Meanwhile, they're still side by side. Jack Haas and Justin Zeidel for the 7th position. It looks like that 39 is going to take it away for that place right there. But Travis Crampton in the 98, and NS Racing comes into this race this weekend dead last in owner's standings. They have had so many issues, but they have had so many good runs as well, so they definitely have the speed. They just have not had the luck, but we'll have to see if Travis can, in fact, hold on to this race through the pit stops and get this race win here at COTA. Good run for Rogel Dorn, though, as well in the 74. And then you got Philip Torres, Thomas Troxel, and Brady Mardi Gras. Top 5 run for both of the Hamill cars here today. And then you got Bryce Egan, Jack Haas, Justin Zeidel, Ace Garcia, Tanner Parton, who is dead last in points, actually. No, Bryce Egan's dead last in points. He's next to last in points, Tanner Parton is. Runs in the top 10 right now. Let's go back and see. Well, we've had a couple of incidents so far. The 57, Bernardo de Oliveira is out of the race. You saw that in the corner of your screen. And then Roberto Crown Jr. and the 31 of Eric Monaco also caught up. And then, of course, the start of the race, Angel Gutierrez got spun around. I'm sure he's not happy about that one. Them going 4 wide there off the exit of turn number 1. He got spun off going into 2 right there with Hubert. And Andrew Miller's also got damage in the 97. And this right here is also a trouble spot. And we already talked about that. These guys getting into each other, and damage on San Mateo getting into the back of Bartow right there. They've got to be careful. We saw that a lot on Wednesday, and Juan Romero didn't even complete a lap on Wednesday because he got into somebody on the backstretch and knocked himself out on the first lap. But it's pretty clean up front right now, and they spread out a lot more up front than they do in the back. And Travis Crampton pacing this field right now here on lap number 2.
Interesting note, the 93 has gained quite a bit of spots. I think Bell started at about 25th, somewhere like there. She's up into pretty close to the top 10 right now. I think she's running 12th, 13th.
12th.
I think she is actually 12th because she
12.
passed the 50 there.
Got around Skylar Taylor right there, and you know what? Reminds me a lot of what Angel Oliveira did on Wednesday in the Sprint Series race. He started in the 23rd position, cut the inside, and ended up finishing 5th in the race in an 8-lap race with 1 pit stop. So, you know, I think Kirsten Bell learned from Oliveira in that one. Of course, you guys have very good cars as well. Obviously, you won this race last year, so no, you guys definitely have an advantage there at Evans Ross Racing coming into this one. And how about Marty Gras on Troxel now? And that 62 just does not have the pace that he had in qualifying. And our points leader slipping back right now in the 62 machine.
I wonder if they started that car in the quali trim, because he was fast, real fast in quali, but just can't hold up here in the race. And the 39 has also been real aggressive getting through the field. I noticed he's been pretty eager to pass guys to the on both lanes of the track. 69 of Egan.
A little overly aggressive right ahead of him right there, and that might be another position for Jack Haas.
Haas has run real nice lately. At a P2 at Atlanta, ran top 10 at Bristol. He's doing really good for himself here. And meanwhile, Parton almost turned the 44.
That was a tight one right there for Tanner Parton and Ace Garcia, but they keep it together. How about Jesse Turner? This is a guy who honestly won the first ever race on the channel all the way back in the day. We talked so much about that, but has not had any success at all, really, this season. He's going for the 10th position right here in his first top 10 of the season here in the Wawa Cup Series, and it looks like he might get it here off of Tanner Parton. He may also get Ace Garcia in the process as well. A good run here for the Trinity River Racing driver. Of course, Josh Williamson's team started out pretty well with the Meliela Smoothfest and Bruno Diacomo, but since then it has not been the greatest of runs for Josh's team, especially after last year they had a pretty solid run with Seth Colum this ride. But Jesse's going to get 2 for 1 right there on that lap. He's now up to the 9th position as he gets around Ace Garcia. You know, for Ace Garcia, I'm sure he'd just be happy with the top 10 here today after all that's happened to him. Of course, his teammate getting the race victory last week. Here comes Kirsten Bell trying to get a run here on Tanner Parton. So many good battles midway through the field right here. And we're only on lap number 3 of this Texas Grand Prix here today.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a lot of really nice battles here through the midfield where a bunch of fast cars had to start in the back or have to make their way up through. With how long the straightaways are here and how tight those corners are, you're going to see a lot of really good passing opportunities. Turn 1's going to be good. Turn 11 down the back. It's going to be really nice for passing. We've been seeing them go too wide through there a lot.
Bryce Egan here trying to get around Thomas Troxel as the 62 has been slipping up in this race and falling back. But unable to get a run on that 62, and Jack Haas right there trying to sneak a run. Got Justin Zaidel here with a top 10 run as well. Haven't really talked about him yet, but a good run for the guy who named this race, actually, was the guy who suggested the sponsorship. Of course, it used to be the Rowdy Energy 375. Unfortunately, Rowdy Energy is no more, and we needed a new sponsor. I'm sorry, Echo. We should have just named it the Echo Energy 375, but I just didn't think that one through.
Good thing this wasn't in California.
that would have been funny. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Well, let's calm down up front. We got Travis Crampton. Rogel Doran in second. Great run for Rogel so far. And we got some...
Toss to the inside on the 69 of Bryce Egan.
Yeah.
Could not get the momentum off the corner,
on the hood there on that 39 machine. That's not good. And that's one thing about this place. You got to be careful not to be too overly aggressive. You mentioned how aggressive he was being right there. And I think that might have just bit him right there as Bryce Egan's going to try here on Troxel in the turn 11. Not looking like he's going to do it.
Thought about it,
a little bit calmer there.
Try to get back in line.
Pretty sure that we've only had the 2 retirements, and that'd be the 5 of Roberto Crown Jr. and 57 of the Oliveira. Everyone else still on the racetrack. Damage
Someone's
repair
out there
on
without
the
a
36.
hood. Yeah.
And then Matt Tuck in the 54 as well, way off the pace. That's a tough break for him. He had a solid run at Bristol. Comes into this race second in the point standings. Matthew Hubert also in the back. And then Nicholas Samedeo has not had a good run. He's still reeling from what happened to him last week at Bristol. So a lot of strong drivers actually with issues in this race in the back of the field. I mean, Braden Perez, Drew Webb's back here. Trey Barto, Nicholas Samedeo. And then Thomas Troxel started up front in this race. Blaine Keys had some damage on the front of his car. It's a tough break for Blaine right there. And then Troxel slipping back up front. You know, the guys who have shown a lot of consistency so far this season, not really being too consistent right here in this one. And it's a guy who's below 30th in points leading this field here on lap 5 of 16. Next time by, I think we're going to start seeing some of these guys come down the pit lane. That cycle begin. Actually, Blaine Keys coming down.
Yeah.
But that might be because of damage in that 41 machine. But if they can get that thing repaired quickly, get him back out there, he might be on a semi-decent cycle. But, oh, yeah, that's all they're doing. They're just taking that hood off. But I don't think he took tires there, so he might be a little bit off the pace, and he might still have to come down for a second time.
I was gonna say, I wonder if those guys that were involved in the first lap incident came in there, try to get ahead of everyone on pit strategy here, because the fresh tires are gonna mean a lot at a road course like this, at a really long track with a lot of braking. You're gonna wear those tires out a ton.
Maybe not as much as we saw in Bristol real life today.
No, absolutely not.
Still.
But still, road courses are known for they just chew up the tires. They've kind of always been like that, and that's one thing that these guys are also going to have to manage is that tire wear.
And of course, these guys
Field's kind of bunched up from second back to 7th right now.
Stuck behind that 74 Rogel Dorn right there. But then again, it's under 2 seconds for Rogel on Travis Crampton, so a strategy play could definitely put someone else in the race lead. But the good thing for Travis here, he's got a clean racetrack ahead of him. And the thing about this place, it being the longest track, actually the second longest track, on the schedule, odds are you're really not going to run in the lap traffic. So Travis is in a great position. That's another huge advantage about this place. Of course, our longest track being Road America. That'll be later on in the Chase in July. That'll be a lot of fun when there's no real-life NASCAR going on. Because
this would be...
But hey, you know, this is going to be good for Travis if he can hold on this first cycle.
I believe this is the longest track by lap time, because you take about 20 seconds longer to go around here than Road America. So he would, in theory, have more clean track to work with.
Let's see what this 98 can do. So I would imagine he might be coming down the pit lane right here. Nope, not yet.
Nope. He's going to stay out.
But they cannot make it past halfway.
A lot of guys are going to stay out here.
I think a lot of these guys, they probably saw what the 3-stop strategy did last year and like, yeah, we're not going to try that here today. So I think next time by we might see our first couple of takers, but then lap 7 is probably when a lot of these guys are going to come down the pit lane for their first stop. But then that second stop might be a little bit closer to midway through and splitting that second run. Philip Torres, got to give a huge shout out to him, as Bryce Egan might have a shot on Mardi Gras right there. Peeking that inside. There's so much more grip on that inside lane, yet no one takes that inside lane in turn 1, which is very interesting about this place. But if you did that, you'd gain a couple of seconds each lap on these guys.
They're 3 wide further back. They were for a little bit at least. Yeah, they were. I saw it out of the corner of my eye. I think it was the 44, 18, and 93.
They've been going after it for a while here.
Oh, yeah.
For that position, and they're a lot closer to each other there as, oh boy, Bryce Egan still trying.
He really wants by the 47.
And just think about the season Bryce Egan has had. He's dead last in points. He has not been happy with his team. But you know what? He's got a solid run going for him right now, and I'm sure he'd love to finish this thing where he is right now. Of course, he was definitely not the best driver last week. As here we go, Philip Torres is closing in on Rogaldorn for second, and this 20 might have a shot going into 11.
He got a great run there out of turn 10 there. Wonder if the 47 slipped up or if he just got that corner nailed down. See if he goes for it.
Let's see, he's
not right here.
He came close, but not close enough, and they're really jamming up behind that 74. Rogaldorn's holding these guys up right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crampton's pulling away.
That's the best thing for Crampton right now that he wants to see is these guys battling, because the more they battle, the more he can just not abuse his stuff and still continue to drive away from these guys.
Brady Murray,
they're going to be the same.
In fourth.
They're going to be on the same strategy on fuel, regardless here. But this is going to be much better for Crampton because he can save tires.
So we'll have to see if anyone peeks down here. Maybe comes down a lap before Travis Crampton and tries to get an advantage on the 98. The 98 at Crampton's going to stay out another lap. We'll see if anyone comes down right here.
I don't think it'd be a bad move to come in here.
No, not at all, because you can still make it on 2 stops from here, including this one. We'll see if anyone in the back does. You know, in testing, I had guys come down on lap number 6. Not the case right here. And these guys are trying to stretch it as far as they can.
Yeah, interesting.
So interesting little move right there. Of course, we have some guys in the back who have come down the pit lane because they had to repair damage. But still only the 2 drivers who are out of the race right now, as Troxel might have a shot on Egan.
He's in the grass.
Oh boy. Now 62 trying to get around. I mean, all these guys are kind of jammed up behind the 74, and Jack Haas going to try to get around Troxel right here. It's very hard to get a move off of 2.
I don't think he's got a run there. I think the 39 probably is faster than a lot of these cars, just being bottled up in traffic like this, especially at a track like this where there's such limited passing opportunities and you have to be consistent. It's really tough to actually set that move up right. He's trying, though.
He might be able to get it. He got a few of them earlier on in the race when everyone was closer. He's kind of pulled away now from everybody else. He's got 3 seconds on Justice Idell behind him, so you know, you got the first 7 cars in the field, and they're in their own little class, and then you got everyone else behind. And Jack Haas unable to get that inside to work, because that inside lane has no grip off the exit of the keyhole. As you see right there, Laura Chung. Ledovic's gotten into somebody in this race. He's got some front-end damage right there.
That's some decent damage, actually. Not like Haas's damage, where it doesn't seem to be affecting him that much. Charette's damage looks pretty significant.
Tanner Parton, Ace Garcia, Kirsten Bell, they've been on each other this entire race, it seems like. And Bryce Egan, and there we go. Bryce Egan's gotten around Mardi Gras there for the 4th position. That 69's pretty quick here today. This is the fastest we've ever seen this 69 as well. Did not have a good run when Elijah Gordon was driving the last year, and rookie Bryce Egan has had a lot of struggles to open up this season, but so far, Egan's had a solid run here at COTA, and he continues to move up through the field. Now, this time by, I would imagine these guys are going to be coming down the pit lane here. Travis Crampton still pacing this field. He's got 3 seconds on the field, so he's got some time to play a little strategy if he wants to. We'll see what he ends up doing here.
He's coming in. This is a good move, I think. Try and beat everyone else in. I guess he's not beating anybody because they're all coming in.
Everyone's on the same cycle. We'll see if anyone stays out.
I would
no
be
one
curious.
up front really doing so. Everyone's staying on the same cycle, which is interesting. That is not at all what happened last year. Last year we had multiple different strategies going on. Everyone was coming down a different lap. We didn't really know who was going to be the race leader at the end of the race last year. This time around, we know everyone's on the same cycle, and I'd imagine this is going to be a 4-tire stop here for Travis Crampton. course, Mardi Gras is going to be right ahead of him. He's got to be careful not to get into these guys ahead of him coming off the pit lane right here. But it will be 4 tires there for Travis Crampton in the 98 machine. I don't think anyone's going to go 2 tires here, but Crampton, pretty solid and clean off the exit right there. And that's exactly what you want as the race leader here. Rogaldorn's going to be second off the pit lane right here, a little ways behind. And it's going to be Dorn's teammate at Mardi Gras.
Wow, great stop by Haas. Up, jumped, gained about 3 spots there. Yeah, I guess if you can't pass him on the track,
I think Jesse Turner played a little strategy right there. He may have gone 2 tires. Because he was nowhere near the front, and now he is up to the 5th position in that 82 machine. Troxel down to 6th, and it's Torres and Bryce Egan. Uh-oh. Somebody's got an issue. I think Justin Zaidel may have jammed the field up right there.
He might very well have.
It's like we got a caution going on right here. All these guys just in a line, and that is going to really shake things up back in there. That 43's got a problem.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely
got something. They all got stuck
up
behind him off the exit of the pit lane, and oh boy, this is going to be interesting.
43, I think, has a tire down.
And he's got a tire down at the worst spot. Oh!
24 just ran right into him.
That was Daniel Paulus Jr. there. And the track is blocked a little bit, and it's going to take a while for that 43 to get back around. Oh,
the 95,
brother.
I think, also has a problem or something.
And Logan Williams.
He's slowed up big time.
You know, and this race is a lot like the race that we had last year, or last week, I should say, at Bristol, where so many things are going on that we're really never going to be able to see. But we saw what happened there with the 43 and Matt Tuck. It's been a bad day for Matt Tuck, but you know what? For Travis Crampton, he's had a good day so far. Still the race leader here at COTA. Rogaldorn, Brady Mardi Gras, Jack Haas, and now Jesse Turner in the top 5. Playing a little strategy right there to get himself into that position. Going to be one stop from here on out. It's going to be halfway through the race next time by.
That 39 is definitely very fast. I think he's faster than both the 47 and the 74. Oh, here comes Turner. Turner took advantage of the 47 kind of holding up the 39 there. We'll see for how long he can take advantage of that.
Unable to really get that inside lane to work. And that, like you just said, Echo, that 39 is really quick. And Jack Haas has an advantage on Mardi Gras right here.
Honestly, that might honestly have helped the 39 get around the 47, pushing him to the outside lane and then let him take the spot. I think that 39 is fast. It's just there's so much of a gap between him and the 2 cars in front that he might not have enough time to get to Dorn or Crampton before the end of this race.
Thing is, though, you could do something like Turn did and go on a little bit of strategy in that last stop and maybe try to gain some track position. We'll have to see if that ends up happening. But he's got 14 seconds behind that 98 right now.
Yeah,
that's it's gonna take.
I don't know if that's a gap that 2 tires can make up.
Yeah. You have to stretch it all the way to the end, maybe, with not even make another pit stop to probably get that to work. So we got some rather significant gaps going on right now here because Crampton's got 4 seconds on Rogaldorn and then 15 seconds
10 back.
Further back is Jack Haas, Brady Mardi Gras, Jesse Turner, Philip Torres, Bryce Egan. Troxel continues to fall back, but he's still top 10, running in 8th. Kirsten Bell, good run for her.
Up to 9th. Pretty good for her after starting towards the middle of the field.
And then you got Sam and Oskin there rounding out the top 10. Solid run for Oskin here today in that 73 machine as his teammates already been knocked out of this race. But those guys are half a minute, 30 seconds behind our race leader right now. And it's going to take something catastrophic for this 98 to lose this race. And oh boy, we had a lot go on.
There's been a lot of retirements, yeah.
Andrew Miller looks like he's going to be done. Justin Zaidel had his tire. Ace Garcia also out of the race. Zachary Fitzwater is out. Ludovic Charette is out of the race. Not a good day for Grattan Autosport. Nat Tuck still a lap down on the pit lane. He's not going anywhere. Eric Monaco over 2 seconds behind. Looks like we had another wreck that occurred right there. And, of course, anything that does happen that we do capture, you'll see on the corner of your screen. And here we go. Mardi Gras back on Jack Haas. This is the battle right here for 3rd. These guys are going after it for this podium position.
See, Haas is going to have the inside going into this corner here. Some of these corners, the inside's a little better. Some of them, the outside's a little better. Which, actually, I kind of like for a road course.
It's all
changes
over
up the
place for
dynamic a
these
little
guys.
bit.
And when they're bunched up like this, they race very well, and we've definitely seen that here today. And Mardi Gras, yeah, too much. There's
Mardi
too
Gras
much damage
might
on that
have
47.
He might have run into the back of the 39. That might be how he was able to get it inside, but also it might be why he's coming to pit road here. Although I think he could make it from here.
He can
without stopping again.
He can. So if this is a quick stop with fuel and tires, he could make it to the end. It could possibly have an advantage and maybe get a good finish out of this one. But we'll have to see.
Could be a little bit of reverse strategy. It doesn't look like it though.
And they're not even going to take
looks like
they're
they
just repairing the damage, so they're going to end up having to come back down again. So that's a tough break for Brady Mardi Gras. He's going to lose some time from that. The good thing is they're already so spread out behind him because of Justin Zaidel having his issue coming off the pit lane that he really isn't going to lose too many positions after all. You know what?
No.
He's going to merge in with these guys who are all on each other.
He's still going to merge in the middle of the pack, so it could be worse.
This is always such an interesting race mid-pack because so many things happen mid-pack. But if you're the race leader, it's usually clean sailing, and that's exactly what's going on with Travis Crampton. Now, I say that, he's got Justin Zaidel just ahead of him here, and he's got to be careful not to get involved in anything with this 43, like Daniel Paulus Jr. did a couple laps ago. Of course, thankfully that 43 is back up to speed, but I'd imagine that 98 is still going to be going faster than him right here.
I mean, for Crampton here, what he needs to do, basically just don't lose time. He's got a 5-second lead. Just be smooth. If you're not going to get around him without making a bonsai move, then don't try it. Just take it easy and get by him when you have the chance to.
That's exactly what Philip was saying on Wednesday when Michael Lewis was leading this race, because Michael Lewis, he had a couple opportunities where he could have possibly lost it, but he just ran his race and ended up getting the race victory pretty handily. And Crampton's got this thing, the cards are on his table, and he's got a very good opportunity at just riding this one out and getting the race victory. And we've seen Crampton have issues throughout the season that have put him back in the points, but he's going to try to make the pass right here. And that was a good place to do it. That was a very good spot to do it.
That was a really nice place to catch the 43. Couldn't be a better place aside from maybe like down the backstretch.
So clean pass right there to put that 43 in between him and second place at Rogaldorn. And now Jack Haas is third, Jesse Turner, Philip Torres, Bryce Egan, Thomas Troxel, then it's Kirsten Bell, Salmon Oskin, and now 10th is going to be Brian Webb after Mardi Gras had to come down the pit lane. Now everyone still has to make another stop in this race, but so many of these guys are way behind because they got held up there. And Bruno Diacomo now coming down the pit lane.
I think if you're going to pit early here, what you should do is you should take fuel, maybe take tires, and just run it out the rest of the race, because you're going to have that advantage with these fresh tires at this point in the race.
That's definitely the case that those guys are going to end up having, so we'll have to see if that ends up working out in their favor. I don't think anyone's going to get the Crampton unless something happens to the 98, but Rogaldorn's only 6 seconds off, and Rogel's close enough to pull some bit of strategy to maybe get around that 98, but it's going to take a lot, and we'll have to see how that ends up shaking out for him. But Crampton, he's going to have to get around Eric Monaco here in the 31 as well. I don't think that 31 is really up to speed either. So
I think the 98, he's going to have an issue, or the 74 is going to have to beat him on strategy for him to lose this race, because this is absolutely his race to lose right now. 6-second lead. He doesn't really need to do anything other than just be smooth.
So we'll have to see if NS Racing can finally find themselves in victory lane for the first time in the season. As a matter of fact, they actually haven't won a race in the Cup Series since Las Vegas of last year. Crampton only won that one race early on in the season, even though he contended for a couple of wins near the end of the year as well, and was still in championship contention going into the finale. Of course, Crampton, last year Crampton had a bad start as well, at least in the first couple of races. Of course, he got the win in Las Vegas, and then from there he really managed to hold on to it. He actually got a wild card spot, and because of that,
he's coming in
He's coming in now, and just like you were saying, come down a little bit early. Maybe get that advantage. So Rogaldorn's going to try something different right here.
So the 74 is going to try and lead a lap here, I believe. I don't know if that's a bonus point to the championship or not.
It will be for Rogaldorn if he can.
Okay.
He actually will get the lap lead because all the pit stalls, except for the last one, I think, are at the or before the start-finish line. Yep. So Crampton's going to come down right here. This will be his last stop of the race. And we'll have to see here. It looks like he's going to take left sides.
Just left sides.
I think he's only going to take the left sides. That's interesting.
That's interesting.
So now he's going to be merging in with a lot of these other guys. Philip Torrey's also coming down, but he was already quite a ways behind that number 98.
I think all of these guys are going to do just left sides here. Unless they really want to try staying out the whole distance. I don't think you can make it to the end on fuel here.
No, I don't think you can, but if you're Rogaldorn, you might want to try something. You might want to try
if you're
something.
behind on strategy, if you're one of those guys like, say, the 39 to the 62, I think it might be worth it to just try it.
Now, Rogel's got to get around Justin Zeidel right here, who has had his
That's
fair
not a
share of
great
issues
place
here
to catch
today.
the 43.
No, and he's actually going to try to make the pass on the inside lane, which isn't going to work out for him. So he's losing time right here, stuck behind this 43 of Justin Zeidel.
Actually, the 74 did a bit of a smart thing there and backed up the corner to get a good run on exit to pass the 43 down the backstretch here. Pretty good move by Rogaldorn there.
So Rogel's going to
Still
easily
lost time.
clear him. Yeah, he definitely did.
But didn't lose as much as what would have been lost if he had tried to run the inside lane.
What about these two guys? They're still on each other. Bryce Egan and Thomas Troxel. And
They're
then you got
still battling.
Crampton, who doesn't need to make another pit stop. Not too far off of those guys.
Yeah, he only dropped back to 6th, so...
And you can
Unless
thank
one of
Justin
these guys
Zeidel
has
for
the-
that one, because Justin held
Yeah.
up so many of those guys when he had the issue off the pit lane, and that 98 was just able to... I mean, then again, the top 6,
Yeah.
top 7 was able to get a pretty good jump on the field there in that whole cycle. Bryce Egan ahead here of the 62, but Troxel's trying here for position. It looks like he's got it. That's for
Troxel
what
goes
is currently
for it.
the 4th position.
Yeah, but the 69 will have the inside lane through this corner here, through the stadium section. Inside's just a little bit better on exit through here, at least that's what I saw with the 39 earlier. Troxel's going to get it, though. Able to power down off the corner.
So there is still some speed in the 62 machine. Meanwhile, Rogaldorn's
74
still
stayed up
staying
on the
out. And
39
if I'm
came to
Rogel,
pit
I'm
road.
stretching it all the way. That's what Skylar Taylor did in the Sprint Series race on Wednesday. And they managed
You
to
got to
get...
try something.
Yeah, they managed to get a Sprint Series, or should I say the hot seat ride for today. Jack Haas coming down the pit lane, but Crampton's going to pass Jack right here. So that race win really not going to be in play for him. Turner's still out there. Jesse Turner is 2nd right now. But Rogel's going to try to put as much time as he can on this 98 machine. He was 17 seconds. So it's,
He actually did gain about 2 seconds that lap, so Dorn's not slouching here. Trying to get as many of these good laps as he can here.
we'll have to see how this strategy ends
Pretty
up playing
clear
out
of all
for him.
traffic too, yeah.
Good day for Kirsten Bell. She's 6th.
Oh, absolutely.
Brian Webb. Laura Chung's top 10 right now. And then you got Brad Stover, who had a solid run last week at Bristol. He's in the top 10. And how about a Sprint Series driver? Felicity Mendoza was runner-up on Wednesday in the Sprint Series race. She's had a quiet day there for Team Williams and has found herself in the 10th position. And you know what? I think all
It
of
is
our
partly
all the
strategy,
ladies of the
but-
field are running top 10 right now. They've done an excellent job
Yeah.
today.
Bell, Chung, and Mendoza all up here. Granted, some of that is on strategy, but still. Pretty impressive to be able to take those Sprint Series cars with basically no driver ratings and put them in the top 10.
Well, hey, Alex
Even if it's
Monroe
on
got
strategy.
the win a couple weeks ago at Phoenix
Oh, yeah.
in the Appalachia car. Of course, that car's out of the race with Skylar Taylor right now. A lot of guys actually out of the race right here. Maybe not as bad as it was last week. I don't know. We didn't have too many retirements last week. We had a lot of guys go multiple laps down last week. But officially out of the race is Ace Garcia, Skylar Taylor, Zachary Fitzwater, Ludovic Charette, 57 of Bernardo de Oliveira, and then the 5 of Roberto Crown Jr. And then 2 laps down is Matt Tuck. Bad day for Matt Tuck. And then 1 lap down, Justin Zeidel. Everybody else still on the lead lap. Now Rogaldorn's coming
Dorn
down
came
here.
to the pit road.
So we'll have to see what he does here. I imagine, just like you said, he's probably going to go with 2 tires right here and
I think
try
you
not
have
to lose too much time.
I think you have to go with left sides. That's what everybody else has been doing. I think that's what you have to do here. Yeah. 82 takes the lead, so that's Jesse Turner.
Out there.
He's going to lead a lap now.
How about Jesse Turner? This is his first lap led all season, I do believe, here in the Wawa Cup Series. Great to have him back up front. And Rogel's not going to be anywhere near this 98 machine. But Crampton has closed up to Bryce Egan and Thomas Troxel. And now this 98 clearly faster than these guys right here.
He's definitely faster, but he does not need to push the issue.
No, not at
all. He knows these guys are going to have to pit. There's no need to push the issue here, especially when you know you can just wait for these guys to come to pit road. This lap or in the next 2. They're not going to be able to make it.
No, not at all. And his biggest challenge right now is going to be that 47 Rogaldorn, who's not really anywhere near him at this point.
No.
But he's got to be careful not to lose too much time here behind the 69 and 62 because, Reels have 47 in. That 47 does have slightly fresher tires, of course. And he's got to be careful not to run into the back of the 69 either.
Give him a little tap, but...
Yeah, that's not bad, but he can't jam it in the turn 11 right here.
No.
We'll have to see what he does. He's close to that 69. He's peeking. He wants to get around him. Oh,
he is going to go for it here.
He's going to dive bomb it. But thankfully, there was no one ahead of him when he made that move. It was a clean sweep right there for him. But now he's going to battle with the 69 a little bit.
We'll
have to see. This 74 might have a shot at closing in, especially if Egan really pushes the issue here on Crampton, because that's what's going on right now. They're still side by side. He's going to finally clear him. Meanwhile, Jesse Turner getting around Justin Zeidel again, and that means Crampton's going to have to get around Justin Zeidel again. So he's got to be careful with Zeidel before the end of this race. It's going to be 2 laps to go next time by here in the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix. Very interesting race so far here at COTA.
I think if you're Turner, you might want to try.
You might want to try.
You might want to try to. He's at least staying out this lap. I think for this 82, he's got to try to make it all the way.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got about a 5-second lead.
Troxel's
I don't know if
down.
it's going to be that much. Here comes the 62.
Troxel's down and Egan's down.
69's in. I think the 93 is going to come in here.
So Jesse's really the last one
this
to
race
come
being,
down for his second stop.
This race being a lap shorter will make it easier for these guys who are trying to stay out long. It'll make it easier for them to make it on fuel. It won't be... It's still going to be hard, but it is a little bit easier because they don't have that extra lap that they had to work with last season.
It's going to be interesting, like you said, to your point, if I'm Jesse Turner, I may try to stretch it. He's deep in the
I think that's what you have to do.
Why not go for it? Of course, then again, too, if you don't make it, you're going to lose a lot of points, and the points still matter ultimately the most in terms of the championship, because even with the wild card, and you know very well how that's like, even though you won this race, you won Road America, you still missed the chase because you didn't have enough points to make it in to the chase, because it's the top 2 guys in points with wins, not the top guys with wins. So once you get that win, you're a part of that wild card battle, but then you got to get the points to win that wild card battle. And I don't know if you want to risk that. But then again, Crampton as well, also really deep in the points. But then again, he has nothing to lose at this point. He's already made his second stop. He's good to go to the end. He's got to be careful with Justin, though, which he will catch him at a good time. He's not going to catch him going into 11, so... even if Turner does try to stretch it, that 98 might be fast enough to get him here. But the next time by, it's the white flag here in the Texas Grand Prix, here at Circuit of the Americas in the Wawa Cup Series. What an interesting race it has been. I think Brad Stover in the 88 also has yet to make his stop, just like Turner. And then you got Troxel there, Brady Mardi Gras, Bryce Egan. How about the 11, Michael Lewis, winner on Wednesday in the top 10 right now. Avery Alford's top 10 right now. And then Bryce Egan fell back just a little bit. How about Bartow and Drew Webb and all these guys? I don't know if they made their second stop yet, but they're closing in on the top 10 right here. But Jesse Turner in the 82 still has to make his stop here. I would imagine he's going to be coming down this time by. But even if he doesn't, that 98 is flying around here. There, Travis Crampton behind the wheel.
See what he does.
He's
he
coming
comes
down.
in this time.
Yeah, it wasn't going to happen. So Travis Crampton in the 98 just needs one more clean lap. And you know what? After last week, it ain't over till it's over. And we've seen that a lot here in the Wawa Cup Series, so we'll have to see if he can, in fact, pull it off. But what about the battle he had at the beginning of the race? And just like you said, Echo, starting in that third position, getting the race lead there on that first lap, and then taking control of the race. That's what you did last year. That's what Crampton has done here today. He's got 7 seconds there on Rogaldorn. And Jesse Turner done with his pit stop. We'll see if he gets a good run out of all this. Troxel's going to get a good run. Michael Lewis down the pit lane, Alfred Bartow. A lot of these guys coming down on the final lap right here. Oh, contact there between, Brad Stover and Michael Lewis.
I think we're going to find out from Nathan Stapleton if you can hold your breath for 2.5 minutes.
We'll have to see. It's not been a good season for these guys in NS Racing so far, but this would absolutely be a great... Are you kidding me?
Does T have an issue? Oh, no!
Oh, my goodness, there is a problem on the 98 machine! Going up the hill, and for 2 weeks in a row, Rogaldorn's going to take the race lead on the last lap!
Oh, my goodness!
You got... Wow, that's just absolutely unbelievable. 2 weeks in a row, we've had a similar issue where a dominant driver has a problem coming to the white flagger on the last lap. Rogaldorn in the 74 takes the race lead away. He's got to be careful going into 11 with Seidel right here. He's going to get around him. And all he's got to do is make it back around. He's going to get his second win of his career here in the Wawa Cup Series. Wow. We don't make this stuff up, folks.
2 weeks in a row, are you kidding?
I can't explain it anymore. I just can't explain it anymore. Rogaldorn trying to become the first driver this season who won a race last year. We've yet to have a driver who won last year get a race victory this season. Rogaldorn's trying to do that. Jesse Turner is second. Thomas Troxel is third. Brady Mardi Gras is fourth. And then it's Jack Haas, Bryce Egan, Sam Oskin, Kirsten Bell, Brian Webb, and Brad Stover, the top 10. Rogaldorn, it fell in his lap, but he kept up close enough to be in this position. And it looks like Rogaldorn is going to get his second career race victory in the Wawa Cup Series, his third overall on the channel, but the first time not at Talladega. Up the hill for the final time, Rogaldorn is going to go to victory lane here at Circuit of the Americas. Wow.
I'm just in awe.
Man, man.
Crampton had the perfect race, and it just went away.
What happened to him? What happened to my man? Tire wheel
down.
0, damage 2.
Damage 2, yeah.
Wow. And you know that might part of that might have been because he took 2 tires. And they had those other ones going for quite some time. 14-second lead for Rogaldorn to beat Jesse Turner. Thomas Troxel is third. Troxel's going to remain the points leader.
Turner
easily
actually did a really good job to still manage a second place out of that.
Great job out of Jesse Turner. Great strategy for that 82 team. Hey, Bryce Egan, top 5. I'm sure he's happy with that one. And Hamill Racing Enterprises, they go the double top 5 with Mardi Gras finishing 5th. Jack Haas, Sam at Oskin, Kirsten Bell. Hey, both of your guys top 10. Brian Webb, Brad Stover, 2 top 10s
won this race
in a row. Man. And they still haven't all cycled through right. Yeah, Crampton is going to fall all the way back. I think he's probably going to finish in the 31st position, and ironically, the last car to come across the line is going to be his teammate who had an issue earlier on with Andrew Miller. He's going to end up finishing 30th and take that position away from him. And this will complete it right here. That is absolutely unbelievable. 2 weeks in a row that we have had a dominant driver, and a driver who should have won the race, blow up or have some sort of mechanical issue that does not normally happen on the last lap of the race. Someone figure out the odds of that. But Rogaldorn's going to be happy about it, and just like Angel Gutierrez last week, Rogaldorn gets one handed to him, but he earned this one. He was second this whole race, got himself in that position to be in position if something happened to Travis Crampton, and in fact, something did happen to Travis Crampton, and Rogaldorn is your race winner here, the Terry Black's Texas Grand Prix here in the Wawa Cup Series. Man, oh man, what a race that was, and I don't know, Echo, are we going to get a normal one next week at Rockingham? I mean, what's going to go on here? These guys keep on having problems. So you don't want to dominate a race in the Wawa Cup Series anymore because something just always happens. What do you make of it all?
I mean, Gambler's Fallacy says that you can't have the same thing happen too often in a row, right? But I guess you never know, especially with Rockingham at a track where there's so much tire wear. You talk about tire wear here, it's going to be so bad at Rockingham.
Mm-hmm. Definitely going to be interesting next week in the Cheerwine 400 at Rockingham. We're excited for that one. That's always a classic race, and I think that one has gotten better and better as years have gone on, especially with the ratings. But man, I tell you what, we've struggled to have some consistency here. I mean, granted, these guys have had some issues on the track in terms of wrecking and mechanical issues, but Travis Crampton cannot catch a break to save his life. That whole NS Racing team can't catch a break to save their life. And then you got Matt Tuck and Ludovic Charette at Grattan Autosport, also a tough day for those guys. Those are guys who we kind of expected to be good this season, and Matt Tuck has been good this season. He actually came to this race second in points. He's going to fall back a little bit there with that 34th place finish, but not the best of days for those guys. And then you got some of the other guys who, we expect to be good this season. Blaine Keys, Trey Bartow, Drew Webb kind of finishing midway through the field right there. Same with Nicolas Samadillo. Our last winner, Angel Gutierrez, was really nowhere to be found. He got spun on the first lap there. Of course, you saw all that nonsense happen in the corner of your screen as it happened. What a race, though. And Rogaldorn, where did he start? We're going to see here the qualifying results. He started 5th, so he was up there, too. He started right behind Travis Crampton there and just hung in that whole race and was in position. And you got to give a lot of credit to that team. Obviously, just like you mentioned, Hamlin Racing Enterprises, the second year in a row they've won this race. Of course, a little bit different way that they won this race this year, but you know what? Those guys have it figured out here at COTA, and Rogaldorn gets his second career Wawa Cup Series race victory. Jesse Turner there finishing second. Thomas Troxel in third will remain the points leader. And then Bryce Egan there. Great top 5 for Bryce. I know he's had a lot of struggles. He was dead last in points coming into this race. But wow, what a race here at Circuit of the Americas. And I tell you, I don't know what to do anymore. I mean, you just don't want to be leading on the last lap or coming to the white flag anymore, because if you are, you're going to have a problem. See if that happens next weekend at Rockingham. But hey, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. I know if you're Travis Crampton or Nathan Stapleton, you didn't enjoy this one, but I hope the rest of you all did. And we'll be back next week, noon Eastern time, from the Rock and the Cheerwine 400. Huge thanks to Echo Evans Ross for joining me here for the call of this race here today. Here are the point standings for the Wawa Cup Series after 7 races. And a huge congratulations to Rogaldorn for getting the race victory here in the Texas Grand Prix. Thank you guys so much for watching once again, and I will see you guys later.